Welcome back, gentlefolk and rapscallions of all persuasions. I promised I was still working on my cosplay video, and here's the first one. I'm going to take you through the making of the worst petticoat I have ever constructed, in terms of labor, not in terms of quality. The first step of my petticoat journey was to lay out all 9 yards of white organza that I bought for the project. Initially, I tried to square the edge by tearing, and then by drawing a thread from the weave to give a straight edge between the warp threads to cut along, and neither of those things worked. So eventually I just folded the fabric in half and hoped for the best. I also decided to work smarter and not harder, because this was a double-layered petticoat. I folded the fabric again to the size of the panel I needed and cut along the fold, and then again at the edge of the fabric to cut the pieces 2 at a time. So you can see here that if I cut out the pattern pieces exactly as printed, I would have all this waste here along the bottom. So I just cut each panel the full width of the fabric. Less waste, extra floof. Ah, the yoke and waistband pieces, the bane of my existence for this part of the project, aside from the endless gathering of the petticoat layers themselves. I think this was the second time I cut them out, because this fabric is the white cotton twill left over from the lapels on the Kaladin coat. Ultimately, I decided this fabric would be too stiff for this application, and I cut them out a 3rd time. Mind you, I only needed 2 copies of the yoke sections, that curved piece in the foreground, 1 for each layer of the petticoat, and I only needed 1 waistband that joined them both together. Why did I cut all of these pieces out 3 times? Because I'm an indecisive perfectionist, that's why. I have no better reason to give you. This is the only section of the waistband I only cut out once. I knew I needed a stretchy knit for the sides of the waistband, and I wasn't going to buy something new, and then turn the rest into a crop top t-shirt. So after cutting out the waistband 1, 2, 3 times total, and thinking I was done cutting out all the pieces of the petticoat, I was wrong! A truly disgusting amount of gathering followed. I spent weeks upon weeks working on this. What you see me doing here, and not even completely, is 1/4 of 1 lower ruffle. Just so that I didn't lose my ever-loving mind, I worked on this petticoat in order of the most difficult tasks to the easiest. This is the underskirt, and you can see that I did this first, so the one where I had to gather down 13 yards of tulle and another 10 yards of organza onto the 5-yard upper ruffle was out of the way. After this, I did the lower ruffle of the overskirt, so the gathering down the upper ruffles into the yoke felt comparatively easy. And I do mean comparatively. This much ruffle was gathered down into this much yoke. I did a truly laughable job trying to capture sewing the petticoat ruffles onto the yoke. I was constantly losing my pin box under all of this floof, and wrangling this thing in the quite literal 2 square feet of open space on my computer desk was an absolute nightmare. But I did it, and then all that was left was to attach the waistband and install the zipper. Look at it. Look how majestic it is. I'm never making a petticoat again. And that is the making of the petticoat that went over the hoops for my Vin ball gown. I'll be back with another video about the construction of the gown itself, which, in comparison to the petticoat, was wildly simple. Do all those delicious things that feed the almighty algorithm, like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye!